Hi, I'm Lisa Turner with Bowman College of Holistic Nutrition and Culinary Arts, and today I'm going to show you how to make the perfect festive holiday salad. Now, we're right in the middle of a bunch of holidays, and you've probably been doing nothing but eating a lot of food, and most of it probably hasn't been all that healthy. So this is the time when, if you're going to a potluck, everybody is going to welcome a really fresh, beautiful, healthy salad. Now, I'm not talking about romaine lettuce and carrots and tomatoes. I'm going to show you how to make something really special with some different and unusual lettuces and some fruits that are in season right now. So we're going to start with Frisee. Frisee is a bitter green. It's a member of the chicory family. You may have seen this in some stores. It sort of looks like a head of lettuce gone terribly awry. But what this is it's a member of the chicory family, and it's grown in such a way that the green doesn't completely develop, so it has a slight bitter flavor and a really good crunch. And after you wash it, all you're going to do is just break off pieces of this, and we'll put this in the bowl. Now, it's pretty. It's a very striking lettuce. But it definitely has a bitter flavor. So if you're doing this for your family, or people who you know may not have such pronounced tastes, you can cut it with a couple of different kinds of lettuces. You could put some baby arugula leaves in. Baby spinach would be nice. I'm going to put that in my compost. Now, you could also use Belgian endive, which is another member of the chicory family, or you could use radicchio. Today, I'm just going to use this. We're going to have a fairly dramatic presentation with the salad. Next, we're going to use pomegranate. Now, pomegranate is one of those fruits everybody knows. They're really good for you, but they just seem like such monstrosities to get into that you probably don't eat as many of them as you'd like to. Now, there's a very easy way to get into a pomegranate. It was sort of life-changing for me when I found this out. You're going to take the pomegranate and lie it on its side, and then cut straight through the middle. Now, there are a lot of different ways to do it, but this one just seems so easy. Now, no matter what you do, you're still going to have a bit of a bloody mess because that's just what happens when you're dealing with pomegranates. But after you cut it in half, hold it over a bowl and take the end of a pestle. I'm using a metal pestle. You can use a wooden pestle. You could also use the back of a really heavy wooden spoon, or you could use even a rolling pin, although that's a little harder to deal with. So once you've cut it, you're going to score it all the way around the fruit. And the easiest place to score it is just right there along where the white membranes are. So when we do this technique, we're sort of working with the way the seeds grow in the fruit. Hold it upside down over a bowl and just whack it with a pestle. You can start to squeeze it a little gently, and then the seeds just start to come right out. And then this should leave all of the membranes behind. And then you just repeat that with the other side. So we'll put this into the salad, along with some other pomegranate seeds that I've already prepared. So you can see already, this is as far as we've gone, and that's really beautiful. Next, I'm going to add some citrus. Citrus is in season right now, especially grapefruits, and they're really good, and they're going to add a little zing. Now, the prettiest way to cut the grapefruit or any other kind of citrus is to supreme it. Looks really fancy, sounds really fancy. It's an easy technique. I'm going to cut off the bottom, and I'm going to cut off the top. And then, using a very sharp knife, holding it firmly with your fingers, you're going to cut around the fruit, taking off all of the rind and the white pith. Don't be afraid to cut too deeply into the fruit, because we're going to go ahead and use the little bits of membrane and fruit that are left over here. Okay, then once you've cut that all away, hold this over a bowl, and using the sharp knife, if you're nervous about using a big kitchen knife, you could also just use a small paring knife, whatever you're more comfortable with. This is a pretty sharp knife, so it's going to work very efficiently. So I'm just cutting in between each of the membranes so that I'm releasing the segments just like they are. Then you don't get any white pith, which can tend to be a little bit bitter. Now, once I've done that, I'm going to set these aside just because I don't want to add them to the lettuce yet, because I don't want them to sit. They're fairly wet. You're going to scoop the grapefruit segments out, and you'll have some juice left over in the bowl. Now, you'll also have this leftover membrane. You can squeeze that right into the bowl. Make sure your hands are clean. And then anything that's left over in the rinds, you can also squeeze into the bowl. Now with this leftover juice, I'm going to go ahead and make a dressing. I'm going to make this really simple. Now I'm using grapefruit juice instead of vinegar for the acid component here because it's going to add just a nice zing, and it's so seasonal. So it's really simple. You can use any kind of oil. I'm using olive oil just because I like the way that the flavors of olive oil and grapefruit juice combine, or any kind of citrus juice. When you mix that up until it's well blended, I'm going to add some shallots, just a little extra flavor. I'm going to put in some rosemary, finely minced, because that's another really nice winter seasonal herb. Once we have our dressing, we can start to assemble the salad. I've also cut some persimmons, and I'll add persimmons. I've just cut them in a large dice. So you can see this is really getting beautiful. And then once we've mixed this up, let's just pour the dressing right over the salad. And toss it to mix. Now this is a really simple basic salad, and you can see already it's very striking in its presentation. It's really colorful. But if you wanted to add some more fruits to it, you could. I'm going to put a pear in as well. So we'll just cut the pear in half. The easiest way to do this is just to take out the core with a little melon baller. Make sure you cut the stem ends off and the flowering ends. And then you can cut it in a lot of different ways. So you could, if you wanted, cut it into very thin wedges and just arrange it on top of the salad when you're plating. So it's almost like a garnish. And then if you wanted, at the end, you could also do some other kinds of garnish, for instance, even cheese. If you're not making food for people that have issues with dairy, it's really nice to offset the sweet flavors of the fruit with the bitter flavors of the lettuce by adding just a little bit of really salty cheese, because we haven't added any salt or seasoning to this yet. So once I plate this, maybe I'll arrange some pears on top. And then maybe I'll even top it with a little cheese. You could use a crumbled blue cheese. You could use goat or feta. I am using ricotta salata. You could also put some nuts on there. Pine nuts would be really beautiful. Toast them first in a dry skillet. That helps to bring out the flavor. Pine nuts are really expensive. You could also use chopped up macadamia. I am using slivered almonds. And then for a final touch, if you wanted to just add a little more pomegranate seed on top. And then I'm going to add just a little more persimmon on top so that you can really see it and the colors pop. So that's it. Really simple, really beautiful. Anybody's going to welcome this on their holiday table. And it's really fast and easy to make. I'm Lisa Turner with Bowman College of Holistic Nutrition and Culinary Arts. Happy holidays. Can I go back to where I added the pomegranate and then maybe I add a little more persimmon also?
Sure.